I do feel like they was trying to put like the Jake and Liberty storyline on Lana and Ron a little bit. I wanted more violence.
Lana and Ron's date was the most disgusting date I have ever seen.
When me and Jake come out, we wasn't allowed to talk like until the actual like Aftersun interview.
Really?
So after we like broke up, that was the first time
that you had a conversation.
That we, like on air.
I think the first ones to break up will be.
Yeah, I'm shocked at that answer.
Really? Would you go on All Stars if they asked? Hello and welcome to the very last episode of Sunburn. If you haven't already been watching this whole entire season, then God knows why you've come on to the final episode. That doesn't make much sense. But it is the season where we recap everything that's been going on in the Love Island Winter Villa over in South Africa. And today, we have to recap the final and the whole entire season. And it only felt fitting to get back our very first guest, Miss Liberty Poole.
Hey there.
Welcome back.
I'm so happy to be back.
I'm happy to have you back too.
I feel like so much has happened.
I feel like a different person from that first episode.
Same.
I feel like I've grown, I've found myself, I've really grown into myself.
I've been doing even more psychoanalysis.
Yes.
I think I might go down the route of being a psychologist now. Do you know what I mean? Scrap the influencer route.
If you don't remember, Liberty came up with a genius theory behind Zara and Olivia's, which actually didn't turn out to be true.
Are you joking?
They didn't fight over a man. They knew each other. They knew each other, but you got that part right.
And there was tension. I was 75% right.
You were almost right.
Yeah.
It was like a first in university, so you'd still be able to qualify as like a professor.
Yeah, exactly.
How have we found this season? Have we enjoyed it? Have we found it a bit boring? Have we...
Being totally honest, it's not my favourite.
Right.
It wasn't my favourite. I feel like, at first, there was big characters that had like amazing potential.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, it just wasn't my favourite season. I feel like 2022 hit a lot harder than this season. I don't know whether it's just because it's in the winter, and people don't relate to it as much, or like I found it ages for me to actually pick a favourite couple that I'd want to win. Like people ask me who do you want to win, like who's your favourite couple, and I was like, I'm not sure, but I'm glad that Kai and Sanam won.
Yeah.
Because they're just unproblematic.
I know.
Unproblematic people.
We were saying on the last episode, like, it doesn't feel like there's any like big characters. Like if you compare it to Summer, like you had like Aftersun and Davide and India and all these people who like came off and you wanted to like keep up with them. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I don't like...
No, Will's a big character.
Yeah,
I'm shocked that Will left actually.
Same.
But we all knew before the episode was actually aired.
I can't believe it. First of all, Maya Jama spoiled it on her Instagram story.
Yeah.
And she like showed like a...
I'm not gonna lie, that was what I'd do if that was me. Like I don't blame her for doing that because I would literally do the same thing. Unwillingly, like unknowing that.
But then after Maya Jama spilled it, then they said in that ad break, and coming up, we've got interviewing dumped islanders Will and Jesse, and then they cut to them being like, it is between Will and Jesse, Kai and Sanam, and Ron and Lana. It's like, well, we know who's going. You've just showed us them outside of the villa next to Maya Jama in the ad break.
Do you think they did that on purpose then?
I did think that because Maya Jama spoiled it on her stories, maybe they were just like, F it. Let's just throw it out. We can't be bothered. If you had told me in the first week that we were going to have a final two of Kai and Ron, I would have called you crazy. I would have slapped you over your head and called you Sandra. Like, what the hell? They have had the biggest... I mean,
Especially Kai.
I was about to say, I still can't quite get behind Ron. I'm still a little iffy on him. But Kai has had a character development like none other. It's like a Jacqueline Wilson novel. Like, I feel like I've followed him on a journey. I feel like I'm there with him.
Jacqueline Wilson, don't she do Tracy Beaker? What else does she do?
Did you never read Jacqueline Wilson as a child?
She had Tracy Beaker.
She had Tracy Beaker. She had Dumpster Baby. She had Best Friends. Oh, Liberty. I was obsessed with Tracy Beaker.
So Kai's like Tracy Beaker to you?
Literally, Kai is my Tracy Beaker.
Yeah.
Oh, also this week, we had a lot of flack from Sammy and Tom, but seemed to be a solid favourite for most of the season.
I thought they was going to win.
And then
I thought they was going to win.
This week, I feel like the public sort of turned on them. Because they had a little bit of gossiping. They were discussing sort of who they thought was fake.
My take on that is, to be fair, when you're in the whole like villa and stuff, I feel like you do think like everyone that's been on Love Island has watched previous Love Islands and that.
Yeah.
Like they have. And I feel like sometimes people try and relate characters to past characters of old series.
Yeah.
When actually everyone's their own individual person and everyone goes through their own individual thing. But I do feel like they was trying to put like the Jake and Liberty storyline on Lana and Ron a little bit.
And you're like, hang on, there's only one Liberty, bitch.
I was like, thinking like how like it's different. It's completely different. And I feel like they were thinking, oh, Ron's a game player and like Lana's this sweet innocent girl. And I was thinking like obviously Ron, like Lana's lovely, but I was thinking it's different. Like their journey's been different.
The dynamic.
So I did feel for them a bit.
Even,
I did.
Like from the start, like you and Jake never really had like that sort of thing where like, you were dating other people, and like whereas Ron was like going about and
exactly.
popping.
It's completely different.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But I also do think that Sammy and Tom got way more hate than they deserved. I didn't think what they did was that bad.
I know, I do agree a little bit. I think it's just blown out of proportion.
I can imagine though in there, it's like, especially when you get down to like hardly any people left. Like I can imagine after 8 weeks of living with all these people and there's like none of you left, the rumors like that can like seem a lot bigger than they would have earlier on in the season.
It does escalate. Yeah. It's so intense. Like you feel everything so intensely.
I was about to say, because you were there pretty much till the very end. Is there, and you were there from the very first episode as well, surely by the end, I would be like, I'm so sick of these people, like, I need a break from them, I cannot wait to get home and, like, not speak to any of these people for, like, a month. Do you not get, like, oh my God, because even if I go, like, back home, because I live on my own, if I go back home to my family home, 2 days with my family, I'm like, I'm actually sick of you. Like, I could not do 8 weeks living with people.
I think at the point that I left, I was just so ready to see my family and friends. Because, like I said, I've said it before, but when you're in there, and especially as it's getting closer towards the end, not everyone is in there for a genuine reason. So when in my situation, like I actually just wanted to like hear what my friends thought, because although you know it is on screen, they were completely real emotions. It was a real situation, and although I was getting advice, I was thinking, right, are you saying this to me because this is how you think, or are you saying this to me because you're playing a game? Because me and Jack had been a couple from the start. But I think in the end, like I definitely made the right decision. But I think in there, like everyone does start to question everyone's intentions towards the final.
Yeah, especially in that last week when it's like, it's just constantly people going, no one's coming in, you know the final's coming. It's just a bit like, oh like this is actually about to come to an end. Like, I can imagine. Is there anyone that you will be following from this season? Anyone from dress style inspiration? Like I just feel like we were missing like someone who was like had like such good style, and every time they came out it's like, oh, they're gonna get the PLT collection, they're gonna get the like, even like Dami last year, like in terms of boys, like had great style.
I like fashion, like Andrew and Tasha were like fashion. I feel like I love like watching that outfit. It's like Tasha slays every red carpet.
She does.
Like it's just, I don't know, like it was really hard. I feel like this season it was hard for me to connect.
Same.
I mean, what do you think?
I just found it very like, I don't know. The thing that I said, I think it was just very like lots of behind each other's backs and not really confronting, and lots of like fake sort of friendships. And I was just like, it makes it hard to get invested in the people.
I did connect to Will. I think he's going to do more TV. Like, I thought Will was hilarious. I
need a show from Will where it's like spend it on the farm with Will. And they should do a show with Will and Jessie where it's like they spend a week on the farm and then a week in Australia.
They should.
That would be...
Yeah, they should.
I will sign the rights. If ITV2 do that, I will be suing you and taking you to court. Okay, final week. I've always found the final week is so boring because everybody's just trying to sail to the final at this point, not cause a ruckus.
I was shocked. I don't know, like, if this usually happens, that when, like, the parents come in this year, they didn't mingle with the rest of the islanders. They sort of come in, spoke to who they spoke to. I didn't know whether that's still linked with a COVID thing, but I wanted to see like Ron's dad confronting people for talking.
Yes. Oh my God, that would have been so good. You know? That would have been so good. Yeah. Imagine if he went over and was like, what you said about my son,
I wanted more violence. When it comes to like the parents.
I know. And
I feel like everyone was polite, and you know what, I understand it. But
speaking of the family visit, we have to talk about Shaq's sister with Tanya.
I think she could have gone more on Insta.
Really?
But I get it. She was
you can't go too much because it's like, at the end of the day, it's always that thing where it's like, you know, when like your best friend breaks up with a boyfriend, chats so much, you're like, hate him, and then they get back and it's like, well, I have to be nice to you now because you're back with like my best friend. Like,
I wasn't. I'll be telling them exactly how it is. Don't get me wrong, I am a supportive bestie.
Yes.
Like, I've been in situations where my friends gone back a lot to their, you know, we've all done it.
Yeah,
we've all done it. And I would still support them, but at the same time, like, when I feel a certain way about that person, like, I would say that to their face. Yeah. and be like, what are you doing? Get your act in order. Which is what, obviously, we've seen Shaq's sister do that a
bit. You could read on Shaq's sister's face, though, that she was not
You could read all over. No.
That was an open book, her
That's
face.
going to be an awkward family dinner.
I know. But I was thinking, though, because I was just like, this is going to be so awkward when you get back. Because it's like, you clearly have like, I just find that whole like Love Island.
Do you feel like Tanya has redeemed herself? I feel like she has a bit. I feel like she has.
I have always been a silent Tanya supporter throughout the whole series. I mean, I did say on one of the episodes that I was a Tanya supporter, and not many people were agreeing in the comments. I think people were a bit like, "Ooh, that's not appropriate."
I think she's funny, and I do think she genuinely likes Shaq.
Yes, I agree.
And also I feel like there's more that goes on that we don't see. Like, they're still together for a reason. I never once doubted like the genuineness, but I think obviously when she brought back Martin back, and then we was doubting.
Yes,
but I do think she's redeemed herself.
Do you know what was so awkward though? Was in the final when they would like play their journey, and it was just like you have to watch like Tanya and Shaq and Tanya bring back Martin, or like they're like to Ron and Lana, here's your journey, and it's Ron just kissing like loads of other people, and I'm just like, why are you showing them this?
I know, the Sammy and Tommy one.
Yes.
No, it was awkward. I remember that, like, because when me and Jake come out, we wasn't allowed to talk, like, until the actual like Aftersun interview.
Really?
So after we like broke up, that was the first time
that you had a conversation
that we, like, on air. And like I remember like there was just that scene of me like crying my eyes out. And I've always said this, a funny thing about this, I don't know why I thought this, because I was on Love Island. But I thought, okay, like if I go out to the outside bit in the corner, no one's gonna see me break down. That's what I generally thought. Little behold, it's Love Island, like there's cameras everywhere. So I just let all this emotion out. I'm like and then obviously they replayed that on Aftersun. And I don't think Jake had seen that before, and I was just literally like, this is a bit awkward.
That must have been so awkward to have your first conversation with X live on ITV2.
Yeah, I know, it was, but you know, everything happens for a reason.
Exactly, you've grown from it, you've learned from it, you learned about yourself from it. I want to get into the final dates, because the final dates this year were whack. I was like, I'm sorry, if I'm on one of the most watched shows in Britain and you're going to tell me that my final date is sitting in a weedy pond with my feet. Lana and Ron's date was the most disgusting date I have ever seen. They were sat in a pond with a table and chairs in a pond and their feet in the pond. I wouldn't want to do that. I'd actively say no.
Maybe there's like less location options in South Africa compared to Mallorca.
No, because you could have taken them on a safari.
Beach.
You could have taken them to the beach. You could have taken them on a boat. You could have taken them
We wanted the Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Scott proposal again, didn't we?
Or even like, just at least like Tom and Sammy's was probably the best, I would say, by default. But even then, it was just some lunch with a car next to them. Like,
right. I mean, what about Kai Sanam's with the candles all lit around them?
Kai Sanam's was quite cute. I thought Tanya and Shaq's was quite cute as well. Like, it was. I would think if
Usually
I was.
There's always a boat.
Yes, there's always a boat. And I think the boat's always cursed.
Yeah.
I think I would want an evening date though. That makes it a bit more romantic.
I always want an evening date.
Yeah.
I would love an evening date. Maybe like in the future. Whoever's watching My Future Husband.
Speaking of, would you go on All Stars if they ask?
It depends where I'm at in that moment in my life. Like, I have been single since actually leaving the villa. I've dated, don't get me wrong. I have dated
seriously
people.
Though, like, tied down.
Yeah, I just find like I just have the worst luck in dating, known to the humankind, and it just never goes right for me.
Yeah.
So it would depend, like, obviously where I'm at in that stage of my life, but I'd be open to it.
What about?
I think my thing is, because Love Island for me was such like a self-discovery journey and finding myself, and I love that Love Island was that journey for me.
You wouldn't want to ruin it, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be in my head, but...
What about if they did it in a way that was like, sort of not about love and it was more just like Big Brother-y, like, or just living in a house.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be way better.
So fun.
Then you can get all the people as well who are still in relationships. And
back in.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
The baby challenge is my actual idea of hell.
Yeah. Can I just say, it is so tiring. Like, genuinely.
Do people take it actually seriously?
At first, I was genuinely taking it seriously, and then I thought, hang on,
this is a doll.
I am going to look a bit psycho crazy if I actually continue you taking it this seriously, I'm going to look like I'm not all there. Because, you know what I mean? It is a doll. But it's genuinely so tiring. Like, I wanted to sleep 24/7 throughout the baby challenge.
Really?
Genuinely, like, it is tiring. Like, because you're concentrating so much and it's constantly screaming and you're constantly, like, looking after it. I just wanted a nap by the end of the day.
I think I would just leave it on like a sun lounger and just be like, I'm coming back in an hour. Like, I could not deal with that crying.
I would rather have gone on a golf trip.
Yeah.
And I don't even golf. Then do the baby challenge.
Literally, there is no part of me that thinks that sounds fun or entertaining. And no offense, even as a viewer, I'm finding it annoying. Those wails are like a whole episode of babies crying. Like, if I wanted to do that, I'd watch Call the Midwife or whatever. Like, I do not want.
You know what they should replace it with?
What?
The pet challenge. Like, get little puppies in instead, because I feel like people would like to see that. I feel like the baby challenge has been like done a lot. Like maybe like the puppy challenge, because it's like sort of like,
that would be so cute.
I think puppies are cute, like babies.
I agree. I signed that petition. We lost Will and Jessie just before the final.
I'm shocked about that.
I was shocked, and I was also upset. I think I would go as far to say that maybe Jessie was my favourite of the entire season.
Yeah.
I really liked her. I didn't like her didn't like her, that was a bit of a push, but I wasn't warming to her at the beginning, but by the end I really liked her. And I felt like they deserved to be in the final. They were like one of the longest standing couples.
I think the 3 couples that were in the bottom for the least compatible, I thought they were going to be like the 3 finalists.
Yes, yeah.
So I was sort of shocked.
Yeah, I felt really bad for them because I felt like they carried quite a lot of the season.
They did.
And they were a strong couple throughout the whole thing, and then they just didn't get the final. But it's the game.
It's the game, but I was shocked out of all of them. But I think, like you said, like in the last week, a lot of people were rooting for, you know, Ron and Lana
because of the whole
and Kai
Villa
Sanam
drama.
because of all the drama. So I think that if that hadn't happened in the final week, it could have been different results.
Yeah, I agree.
Also, what was that drama with Casey and Will? Because I did actually look at Aftersun a little bit, but like...
So, if you didn't watch Aftersun, basically, cast your mind...
I need you to tell me, because I saw a bit of it. I saw a clip and was like, that looks juicy, but what's actually happened?
So, basically, if you remember... Do you remember when everybody was calling Jessie fake? And Will did that like whole, moving like snakes, that thing.
I felt bad for Jessie then. I think that was that. Yeah.
That was out of order. But Casey was the one who was calling Jessie fake. But when Will called Casey out on it, Casey was like, I never said that, it was all Maxwell. They played the footage of Casey saying that Jessie was fake. And that was why it was all the drama was kicking off on Aftersun. And obviously it was live and it was just a bit like, this is all sort of chaotic. And then on top of that, it was the most chaotic thing ever. Will was like saying something to Jessie, I think like being angry about it, but they were like just doing like a B-roll clip of them being like, and Jessie was like, stop, and Will was going, and I was like, this is so awkward. But yeah, that was the drama, but I think they've sorted it now. They were on social media being fine. The final, why was the weather a whole thunderstorm? It was raining, there was wind. I was like, this is not giving. This is
South Africa is looking very windy.
It looks
very windy.
It's not done well for like the tourism for me, because I'm like, this looks freezing and cold and constant rain. Like, it's not giving summer holiday in winter.
It's not.
I felt sorry for poor Maya in that dress, like being like gushed about in the wind. I was like, God, she needs like to be stapled to the floor.
Imagine doing like your hair and makeup and looking all fresh, and then like half an hour later, it's just
all
over the place.
I need to get to the bottom of this because, well, I know you weren't in there for the final, but you might know this. Those dresses they have to wear, do they get to pick them or are they forced upon them?
I think they might have a selection that they get to pick, because I mean, I wasn't in there for that. I know that like they've changed now to eBay.
Yeah.
Obviously, I saw it first. I think in my season. And like there would be like theme nights, so it's like, okay, you're gonna have to wear something from I saw it first, and everyone would be like, what we're gonna pick. And then obviously I think it might be different. I do like the eBay outfits.
Yes, I think most of them are great, but then I was just like, Lana, who's had quite a solid style throughout. She's never come out once and I've been like, what the hell has Lana got on? She came out in this dress that looked like something from like a year 11 prom in ethics in 2007. It was like a neon pink cape which swirled into black. I was just like, there is no way you've picked this out. This is not resemblant of anything you've worn for the past 8 weeks.
It was very different to her style. I'm not gonna lie. I do think she's quite like quirky. Like, she's wore some cool stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like she's a bit more edgy with her style. So, like, the pink, like, dress was very Barbie for Lana. Yeah. So I agree, like, it wasn't what I'd picture her in.
I can deal with the speeches being cut. I felt like 7 years until we got into the results. I was like, come on. It was like and after the break, I'm like, we're going to get to it. They're like, speeches? And I'm just like, I don't give about speeches. I've heard it. We've just had a whole week of dates and affirmations about how much they love each other. Like, I don't now need a whole prom ceremony.
About how much they love each other still. Yeah.
I find it really cringe and forced. And I'm just like, this isn't real. Like, it's just so awkward. Like,
I know, it's hard. I'm glad, like, I never got to do that because I genuinely, like, I'm the worst person to take compliments.
Same. Oh
when
my God,
I'm dating,
same.
I just can't take compliments. Like,
I can't give them either.
No guy that I dated said every time I give me a compliment, I used to go, like, I make this really awkward noise, and literally I'm just like, so I'm glad I never went through that. I just find it, I get really, like, I'm cringy. I say I'm the queen of cringe. But when it comes to, like, lovey-dovey cringe, it does cringe me out so bad.
Same.
So bad.
I wouldn't know what to say. Like, I even find, like, complimenting, like, a partner's, like, outfit or something cringe, because I'm just like, ew, like, what are you doing? Like, stand up. Like, I genuinely would have no idea what I would say.
No.
And I just think that it's a load of baloney.
I prefer the bad boys, but this is why I'm single. Yeah.
And obviously, then we had the final, the actual final once we got through all the faff. Do we agree with the winner, Kai and Sanam?
I do, actually.
Same.
I am glad that they won. I feel like out of all the couples, they were unproblematic. I actually think they're both genuine. And I feel like Sanam really brought out a side to Kai that made me change my opinion on him. At first, I was a little bit like, not given, and it just I felt like he was floating through. But then when Sanam, like, come, I actually really enjoyed, like, watching their relationship, and I feel like they were really sweet. And just to point out, Sanam is the first ever Casa girl. Girl to ever win the Island.
First ever couple to be formed at Casa Amor to win, which is crazy. I'm so happy for them. I think Sanam seems so sweet. And they also seem like, not the only, but the most couple out of them there who are, like, actually excited to be together.
Yeah,
like,
I thought that.
In the final, they were talking about how excited they were to go out and stuff, whereas everyone else was just a bit like, yeah, I've had fun, like, it was good.
Who do you think is going to last out of the... who do you think anyone's going to break up first?
I think the first ones to break up will be Tom and Sammy.
Do you? I'm shocked at that answer.
Really? Who do you think would be the first to break up?
Now thinking about it.
I think Tanya and Shaq are going to be dark horses and last for quite a while.
Possibly. I'm just trying to think about the others.
The only thing that might throw Tanya and Shaq off is...
Actually, I will say Will and Jessie just because of the distance.
Yeah, but she did say she
not because of the
relationship,
but just because of the distance. Oh, did she? Yeah. Okay, that's good. Maybe not them then. Now, maybe agree with you then, actually. Now thinking about the rest of them.
The only thing that I can think that might put Tanya and Shaq off is if Shaq comes out and sees what everyone has to say about it. Yeah. And it could be one of those things...
If they watch it back.
Where it's like... It's then now put a thought in your mind which wasn't there before, and now you're constantly being like, wait, what if everybody else, because everybody was saying it, so it was a bit like, it could be one of the things where it's now in the back of your mind and it's just like one of the things you can't shake. But I think they all seem like quite solid couples. I think they'll last quite a while.
Yeah, they all seem solid, but I feel like when at the end everyone is solid, and then it's the outside that
throws it off, and it's the DMs from people and the
because you do have to, like, the transition from Love Island is a lot to deal with, and there's so many different factors going on from everywhere that I feel like that's when they get the real test, when they're in the outside world.
I agree. So
I find as well, like, obviously when you come out and you're a girl and that, you do get, like, quite a lot of, like, makeup and fashion brands wanting to work with you. And I don't think there's as much out there for the guys and that. And I feel like sometimes that can cause tension.
I can imagine that, actually. Especially if, like, how stereotypical and, like, traditional roles. Like, I can imagine how, like, a man might be a bit like, she's making more money than me, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I think they're all solid. And this is now 8 weeks in waiting. I am so excited to get into this. We have gone, look how many there are. I feel like I've won the postcode lottery. There has every week been a segment at the end of the show where we have gotten everybody who's been a guest on to write their predictions from winners, all the way from week 1 with Liberty and Flossie, which we're going to start with. Miss why don't you open your own?
I actually don't remember.
Oh, I'm excited to hear. I'll open Flossie's.
I don't know if I'm excited to hear. We'll see. Right,
let's see who you wrote.
No.
No!
I was completely out of it. Okay, so boy, I've put Ron.
Oh, almost. You were close.
God, I put Olivia week 1. I know. I think that's because when she come in week 1, she was very like strong character, causing like a little bit of trouble. Like she was giving us the content we needed. But obviously it changed.
Flossie put Ron and Olivia as well.
Did she?
I bet you that is Flossie copying over your shoulder. There is no way.
Like she was there.
There is no way 2 people on the first week. Olivia, I guess maybe in the first week, Olivia was kind of giving winner.
Yeah, I think she was. She was getting a lot of airtime.
Yeah, she was. Joe Garrett put Ron and Lana. And he also put his Instagram at. No free promotion here, thanks. But Ron and Lana was close.
Yeah, Ron and Lana.
That's our winner so far. That's the leading.
But I feel like that changed for them in the last week.
Yeah. But to be fair, having in the second week guessing Ron and Lana, that's quite clever.
That is clever.
They were going about from each other at that. Yeah.
True.
David also, if we remember David, who was dumped earlier on in the season,
okay.
also put Lana and Ron, and also put their Instagram at. At what point did I tell people to write their Instagram ads on? It's been in an envelope for the whole series.
They're thinking about the views on the YouTube series, and they're like, yeah, gotta get that in there.
Millie T. Oh my, I'm sorry. This is all people copying because she also put Ron and Lana. There is no way that everybody gets Ron and Lana on that second week. Right, we got them as winners. Zara, God bless her.
I like Zara. I met her in person.
Oh,
I do really like her.
Did we get on?
Yeah, we got
Friendship there?
Possibly.
Where did you meet?
It was really like weird. We went out for Ab's birthday for my season. I was out with Sharon, Faye, Kaz, and Abby. And then all the islanders from the winter season happened to be there also.
Oh.
Like, it was so weird. Like, Zara, Tanya,
oh my
Paris.
God.
Like, so it was just like a big link up. Because
so
I feel
random.
like when you come out, you instantly
have a connect. Like,
yeah, because like, oh yeah, we've all been on the same things. So you can see like get talking and that. But yeah, no, Zara was really nice. I like Zara and Tanya.
They're lovely girls. Zara put Will and Jessie. Wrong. Oh. Idiot. Joke. Sorry. Demi Jones.
Okay.
Let's see what she put. This is so exciting. I feel like it's Christmas Day on my birthday and I'm opening all the envelopes. Will and Jessie. What is it? It's either people copying or some sort of weird synchronization because so far...
But I would have thought Will and Jessie all the way through, to be fair. That they would have at least made the final. So it was I was shocked that they didn't.
There was something in my spirit that was telling me that something was going to go wrong.
Oh, really?
It always happens, like the people from the start. Like if you think like someone like Dr. Alex, who everyone loved at the start, something always happens towards the end. I knew that they weren't going to win. Ron and Lana from Tanyel. So that's in the winning pile. No one's guessed Kai Sanam yet, but to be honest, I wouldn't have guessed Kai.
I would have predicted Tanya to put Ron and Lana though, because she is close with Ron. She's
close with Ron. You're going to want to root for them. Sorrel, our girl, put Tom and Sammy. That was a bit of a West one. And finally, GK Barry put... She's wrapped this up very well. Tom and Sam, and with an explicit drawing on the ends, which is not appropriate for YouTube. Also Tom and Sammy. So no one correctly guessed. So, I mean, every week, everyone's been like, so what's the prize if we win? Well, none of you won. Everybody was asking me for cash prizes. None of you even won, so none of you are getting it anyway.
I think, personally, I should be the winner, because I'm here now. Yeah. What's my prize?
You get the winning prize. But we have as our winners, 4 people correctly guessed the runner-up. So congrats to you, but you still didn't win, so...
So I was 50%. 50% for the runner-up.
50% for the runner-up. That is a stretch. Liberty, thank you. What are your final thoughts on this season? One word to sum up the season.
Looking forward to the summer one.
I would sum it up as a bitch fest.
Oh, really?
Lots of sneaking behind
We need more straightforward people next time.
Right, yes.
We need Moras.
Yes, more Moras. And if there is someone out there who wants to go on to summer, what would be your tip for how to act in there in summer? Which my tip would be to go to people's faces. If you're listening to this and you're going to go on to Love Island this summer and you have an issue with someone, say it to their face. Because not only is it going to make for excellent television, people will also like you because you're being real.
Being honest. People want to see real. People want to see honesty. It's appreciated.
More speaking and more forward because there was too much talking behind backs this year.
Yeah,
And I think
feel
that's
like
what ruined it.
never got addressed properly. Like, it never fully got resolved.
And there was no closure. The only person who went to people's faces was Zara. And look how loved she was.
Yeah.
So take some tips from that. Have you got any other words of advice or wisdom?
Just be you and be weird.
Be you.
Be you, be weird.
Oh, thanks, babe, for coming on one more time.
Having me.
Oh, God, it's always a good time with you. And thank you guys for watching this season. It's been a ride, to say the least. I don't really have much to say, to be honest. Just thanks for watching. Maybe see you in summer. And if not, have a nice life. Bye.
Bye.